welcome to the Gentlemen's Club live with your host, the commissioner, and the three-time champ, Andrew Simon. This guy's been in the championship game the last 2 years, and he's won 50% of the time. It's Eric Hastert. And this guy is in a 10-man league. We've had 9 different champions, but he's not one of them. It's Brian Hastert.
Woo! Still haven't updated that intro. Probably never
Perfect.
will. Guten Tag, motherfucker.
Guten Tag, baby.
We're going to Europe. Dustin's
We are
closer
going
than
to
any of
Europe.
us. He's not going to the game. So we know who planned his honeymoon, and it was not him.
Yeah, how did you not factor that in? Like, you could have literally went there, watched the Chiefs play, and then came home the next day. Would have been perfect ending to the honeymoon.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. I bet those tickets were quite expensive.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Well, we got the standings rolling across the bottom. We got a new number 1.
Oh, yeah, baby. Cream always rises to the top.
While Dustin was in Europe, he was swept away by the floods of my offense and dropped down to second place. Caleb in third, Brian in fourth. I remained in fifth, even though I won. Looking like those 5 are probably pretty set for the playoffs, and it's going to be a battle for the last spot. We got Miller, A-Ray, and Brady all one game out of the playoffs, or I guess they're all tied for the last spot in the playoffs. And then Mitch, who just picked up a win last week, and Dylan, who has dropped to the last spot, just a game back. So still a chance for anyone to take it, but congratulations on getting back on top.
Is this, like, the biggest gap, I feel like, between top and bottom? I feel like typically, like, 4th through 7th is always, like, the same. Like, they always have the similar records. But a 2-game difference between 5 and 5 might be the first time in a while.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that it was 2 games between 5 and 6. I thought it was just 1. So, yeah, the top 5 are basically playoff locks almost at this point. Yeah, I'm at 90% chance of getting in, so that's kind of interesting. We'll see who gets that last one, though. If we want to look back at the offers, I know we wanted to revisit this. Gus Edwards 300 worked out pretty well for Caleb.
Yeah. Yep. Seems to happen when I drop players. So if I drop somebody, just be on the lookout. So I dropped Jonnu Smith right there. Go grab him. He's about to put up a 30 bomb.
Ooh. Nice. I got Will Levis. Surprised everyone went for Dak. I assume it's for just a bye week fill-in, so it's not a bad play. Got rid of Jordan Love, and I saw Brian picked him up today. Or no, maybe it wasn't Brian.
I think Brian also dropped
A-Ray.
Dak. Oh, A-Ray grabbed
He probably
Jordan
did.
Love. Yeah. He has
But
Trevor
nothing
Lawrence.
too crazy on the waiver wires at this point. A-Ray has
Well,
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, if you look at last week's, I think Dalton Kincaid and Gus Edwards are pretty much tied for pickup of the week there. Kincaid had 15 points. You can't hate it. And he's ranked number 5 this week in, like, people's rankings.
Not bad. Got a touchdown.
He did. Should have had 2. But yeah,
We'll get out of here, and we'll get into the recaps. I'll recap my showdown with Dustin. Pretty even. Good week out of 2, or decent week out of 2. I guess he's had better weeks, but okay weeks out of Swift and Evans. I got all my points out of A.J. Brown and Christian McCaffrey, and that was enough. So happy to help the league out and take Dustin off the top spot. And now we got a little tie for first place, and it'll make the rest of the season a little more interesting.
yeah, I appreciate the beating the Benedict Arnold that is apparently just living in Europe now. He just said "fuck America" and left us. doesn't care about us anymore. But that's all right. You stay over there and keep losing. Mitch getting a must-needed win here, 144 points. That's a lot of points, Mitch. Your team could be dangerous, except for you do lose Gibbs this week. Mitch had a big week at Gibbs finally. Justin Herbert doing pretty good there, and Jalen Waddle actually with a really big week. Kind of what you expected from Mitch after the draft, but this might have been his best week yet. A-Ray's team didn't look great. Joe Mixon finally had a good game, and George Kittle. You think you would have done better there. 109 is not terrible, but it's not going to win you a lot of weeks in this league, especially when you play someone who puts up 144.
Yeah, he probably wasn't expecting that out of the 9 seed, but nice win for Mitch. And yeah, we all thought his team was going to be pretty good, so it's nice to see them finally putting it together. Caleb taking down Brian. I feel like Brian's on a little bit of a losing skid. Whoa, I didn't even realize he was 170. I guess he was talking about being in Club 160 and Club 170. So 173.8. That's got to be probably 5th or so all time. Top score. Almost beat my all-time score, but huge week out of Lamb. Good week out of Josh Allen. Co-pickup of the week, Gus Edwards. That is a ticket to Club 160. Brian, when your kicker is that you got off waivers is your second highest score, you're probably not going to win.
No. Mahomes had a terrible week. We all know that. That sucked. And again, I think literally it was his worst week
ever.
Statistically and fantasy. I mean, I guess it correlates. We had a couple of the bottom.
He came out and ahead of that with the sickness, so that helps.
Couple of the bottom teams here. Brady gets a win, much needed win here over Dylan. Not terrible with the pickup of Javonte. Brian dropped him like 3 weeks ago, so pretty good pickup. He's coming around. Got you 17. Maybe there's a little bit of hope there, Dylan. But Garrett Wilson actually got you 14. Not bad, and Lamar just had a terrible week. I have him in my other league. Cost me. I lost by 3 points. Had Lamar had a decent week, it would have been great, but didn't work out for you there. You might need to turn the music down a little bit. Brady, Rashad White had a good week. CJ Stroud, not a good week. I mean, 14 points at your quarterback, pretty terrible. And then same with St. Brown. 14 is not bad, I guess, for St. Brown. Good floor. Not a huge week from him, and you don't have him this week. He's on bye. But you got the win. That's all that matters. Brady's moving up to 3-5. Still fighting for a playoff spot.
Rough start to the season for Dylan. We'll finish it up with your matchup with Miller. And actually, I know we were going to kind of trade off here, but I'll let you actually recap this one since it was so personal.
I mean, yeah, not much to say. Changed my name to actual ass kicks and not asterisks. I don't know if you remember Justin's name.
Say that 3
changed.
times fast.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember Justin's name changed at the end of last year, but it was no asterisks, all ass kicks or something like that. But everybody knows you got that asterisk. I beat him 146 to 112. Every one of my team did good. Not really much to say about my team other than everyone did good. 31 out of Jalen, 25 out of Kamara, 18 out of Hall. I think Saquon had 15. Diggs had 11. Kincaid had 15. So everyone was in the double digits other than DJ Moore. Miller actually had a good week at Etienne. Kirk Cousins could have done a little bit better if he didn't tear his Achilles. That sucks.
How much into the game was that?
It was actually in the fourth quarter, but
okay.
Obviously could have been some more points there. And then Eckler returned finally, got him 20 points. He had a really good week. So Justin's team may see a little bit of an uptick going forward with Eckler back fully healthy and Aaron Jones back fully healthy. But he did lose Kirk Cousins, and he's replacing him with Dak, or I think he also picked up Sam Howell. So he's going to be streaming. But we all know who the champion was last year. Justin is a fraud. Better luck next season. Have fun on the lottery pitch.
Might be ripe for a trade, though. I'm sure there's some people with a couple good quarterbacks that have already gone through a bye. So wouldn't shock me if there was a trade that went down for that.
Yeah.
All right. We'll get into the week 9. If I edit that. Week 9 preview. I think our biggest gap in projection is this one. Brian says Eric sucks, Yeah, Whitfield says Eric sucks.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
you do
third
have
place.
the largest margin of projected victory this week in your matchup against Brady, 118-94. A lot of check marks on the left-hand side here. Hurts against Dallas. Not a great matchup, but CJ Stroud against Tampa Bay. Not that great of a matchup either. Hurts will probably still outscore him. Breece Hall against the Chargers. Not bad.
Love it.
Kamara against the Bears. That's not bad either.
Love it.
Diggs against the Bengals. Higgins against Buffalo. A little head-to-head matchup there. That will be interesting. Where is that at? Cincinnati? I wonder what the weather is going to be like this weekend.
Yeah, I do need to check that.
McAnus.
Yeah, he's on bye. And I'm still projected to beat Brady by a lot.
Yeah. So I assume you'll pick up 8 or so more points when you throw another kicker in
pick
there.
up a kicker, I might just not start one.
Oh, the disrespect. Brady, Rashad White, DeMarcado, 2 guys I'd probably never heard of before the season started. Decent matchups, though, against Houston and Cleveland. Actually, Cleveland's not a good matchup at all. Watson, Pickens, Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill has a chance to do some things against the Bears. Seems like he gets a lot of red zone chances.
Yeah, that one's scary.
But I don't think this is going to be very close with or without your kicker. I think you'll win this one pretty easy.
Yeah. Ooh. Another big gap here. 17-point difference. Dylan and Dustin. Dylan, you may have a chance because Dustin's still in Europe, but I don't know about this one. Lamar does have a good matchup. Seattle secondary is not great. Foreman, not the best matchup. Chuba Hubbard is like the starter now. Miles Sanders apparently sucks, so that could work out for you. Cooper Kupp and Garrett Wilson should have a good week against the Chargers. Cooper Kupp, it depends on if Stafford plays. I don't know if he's going to play or not. So if he plays, I think you definitely get the edge there. If he doesn't, he could have another 5-6 point week. Everett against the Jets, you don't like that. Hopkins could have a resurgence with Will Levis. I guess we'll find out tonight. Here in about 20 minutes,
Yeah.
less than that.
Yep.
We'll see if Levis can continue doing what he's doing or what he did last week. Patriots against Washington, definitely a good matchup there. And then looking at who I can't see his team.
Oh, shit.
It's Dustin.
Switch the feed up here, sorry.
Tua against the Chiefs. Hopefully he sucks balls. I mean, hopefully our defense can figure it out. Last week we definitely didn't know what was going on, and if we could avoid penalties, we would have been fine in that Broncos game, but we kept getting fucking penalties. So Tua against the Chiefs, not the best. Pollard against Philly, you don't like it. Swift against Dallas, you don't like it. But Dallas's defense hasn't really been the same lately, so maybe Swift gets you some points. Keenan Allen with a tough matchup as well. Mike Evans, okay. Kelsey's going to light it up. Ramondre Stevenson could have a really big week, too, against them. And then your defense could have a good week against Chicago. So Dustin actually has some bad matchups. So Dylan has a chance here, but I think I'm still taking Dustin in this one.
Yeah, did you see what Tyreek said about when Mahomes scrambles, everybody just find Kelsey?
Oh, is that what
his advice was to the Miami defense? He's been talking a little shit the last couple of days, so I hope the secondary's been listening.
Yeah, that game really does scare me, though. Just the way we played last week. Hopefully we turn it around, just come off a terrible win or terrible loss and turn it up.
I think they're going to step it up to shut Tyreek up.
Yeah, hopefully. All right, Dustin.
I agree. Yeah, I think Dustin floats his way to a victory.
I think if Chuba has a good week, Dylan has a really good chance.
He does have a chance. Yeah, there are some interesting matchups for Dustin. Miller and Caleb. Caleb with another. There's a lot of pretty big spreads so far in the matchups this week. Caleb's got Josh Allen against the Bengals. Their defense is okay. Edwards against Seattle. Tyreek against the Chiefs. That'll be interesting. Hopefully he's terrible. CD against the Eagles. So his big wide receivers have tough matchups against good defenses. That might give Miller a chance. But starting Sam Howell, you probably don't feel great about that. New England's been pretty garbage this year. Eckler against the Jets. Good to have him back, but not the best matchup in the world. I don't know. It's I see why the projection is so big. It helps that it's kind of like with Dustin. It helps with a couple of the matchups, but I do think Caleb will probably cruise to another win this week.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, Justin's struggling, and I don't think his matchups are going to carry him this week. Sorry, Justin. You're back down to the bottom. Holy shit.
Right. This one's a little closer. Yeah, the last two are actually close.
No, I meant holy shit as in I just realized that the top 5 teams all play the bottom 5 teams.
Oh, really? I did not notice that. Interesting.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen very often. So
No.
See if we can shake up the standings this week. I'll let you take your brother's matchup here, but at least this one's a little bit closer.
Yeah, this one's pretty close. Mitch coming off a big week. Brian coming off a big loss. We'll see if Mahomes can bounce back. He should bounce back, especially against Miami this week. Should be a shootout. You always expect a shootout, and then it never is, but should be a shootout. Bijan, I think he's going to do a lot better now that Heineke's the quarterback. Desmond Ridder just couldn't keep drives alive, and he just never threw Bijan the ball. So I think Bijan's going to have a lot bigger week than he's had in the last few weeks. Mostert, that one's scary to me against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I mean, Javonte did go off against us last week, but typically we're shutting down running backs. Mostert still could be like 10 to 12.
I like that cue, though.
Yeah, he is questionable. I think he was questionable last week, still played.
Mm.
So we'll see. But Olave should have a better week too. Same with Nico. Like, I like your wide receiver matchups.
Yep.
Mark Andrews as well. Brian's got a lot of good matchups. Kenneth Walker's scary against Baltimore. They have a pretty damn good defense. And then I guess we'll see what your defense can do to Levis tonight. Although, I did drop the Steelers.
Maybe some sacks.
So I'm sure you'll get a few sacks, maybe a couple picks too. And then looking at Mitch's team, he is rolling with – you don't like Herbert against the Jets. Giants, good matchup. Kareem Hunt's been good lately. We'll see what happens with Jerome Ford. I think he was kind of banged up last week.
A little bit, yeah.
So maybe he can get you a touchdown. You really need it. That's about all he can do. Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, always good. Chiefs again. Our secondary
tough matchups, yeah.
Huh?
Tough matchups on his wide receivers.
Yeah. Well, Buffalo, I feel like
yeah, they're not as good, but
they've lost like 5 players like the last 3 games. So Jamar should still be able to compete there. Maybe they'll actually finish the full game this time instead of getting it canceled. And people getting lucky and winning. If it gets canceled, I'm going to lose because I have 3 players.
That's going to be awesome.
TJ Hawkinson, he's actually going to be iffy this week because Dobbs isn't starting, but good thing they got Dobbs because their backup is shit. Zay Flowers, good matchup. Mitch has a chance here. I think it really all depends on if Mahomes can carry Brian and Chris Olave has a good week. Everyone else should be solid across the board. I really want to go with the upset here, but I think Brian bounces back and gets a win.
I'm going to take the upset. I think Mitch is getting hot, and he's going to get another win. Let's do the old showdown of the week.
Showdown.
Let's see if I can find it. It's too far up.
Brian says Steelers are good against rookie QBs. Hopefully, I had the Steelers for a while. and they were shit, so I dropped them. They had 0 points against. Brian said they're good against rookie QBs. Prime example, they played Houston. They had 0 points as a defense.
Stroud's pretty good, though.
Yeah, he is.
And Levis looked good last week, so yeah, that'll be an interesting game tonight. But another interesting matchup is myself and your boss, almost dead even.
Yeah.
5th and 7th. Desperately needs a win. If A-Ray gets this, he has a pretty good stranglehold on that 6th seed. But a lot of the matchups, a lot of the check boxes anyways, are favoring me. Burrow has been looking a little bit more like himself lately. Well, I just saw this comment, and this is ridiculous. I think he's good, but he's not the next Mahomes. Come on.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Jonathan Taylor has been slowly coming back to himself. Pacheco didn't do much last week, but I guess no one really did much last week for the Chiefs.
Yeah, that was
we'll see if he can get back. I just saw that Clyde Edwards-Helaire's out with an illness. He always has a stomach problem at least once in the year. So Pacheco will be just him and McKinnon taking everything, so that might help me a little bit. A.J. Brown against Dallas. Puka against Green Bay. Questionable. Oh, Waller's out.
Oh, yeah, Waller is out. I was wondering why your projection was so low.
Okay, I didn't see
it.
I got Komet, so I'll throw him in there. So I will have a little bit of a lead. Maybe Brian and Mitch should have been.
You also
showdown of the week. Ford, I don't even know if I'm going to play him either. I'm kind of got screwed with McCaffrey and Debo being out. I guess I could throw Drake London in there at the last minute. So, yeah, I did have some unfortunate buys. Otherwise, I think this would have been a fairly easy win with some of my other matchups. But I left the door open. Throw Jordan Love in there. I do like that because I have had him in my other league, and he has fucked me over a couple times this year. So I'm sure he will screw me over again and probably throw like 5 touchdowns against the Rams this week. Henry, that'll be interesting tonight. I guess the trade deadline already passed.
Yeah.
So he'll get his
both of his running backs tonight.
Yeah. Interesting. So we'll see how run heavy it is on Thursday. Adams against the Giants is pretty nice. Scary Terry against the Pats. He does have some good matchups. I will have a little bit more of a gap once I fill my roster out properly. But I think A-Ray's gonna snip me this week. I think Jordan Love's gonna screw me.
I think the opposite. I think Jordan Love's gonna screw A-Ray. I mean, hopefully he's better this week, but he has not been good.
No, he hasn't. I dropped him.
And same with Najee. I mean, the only way Najee does good is if he falls in the end zone tonight. Just Tennessee's defense is pretty solid. It's possible he has an okay game, but I don't see that happening. Derrick Henry, though, on the other hand, he could.
A little scared of that. Yeah,
he could easily throw 20 tonight. So Derrick Henry, I have him as an anytime TD scorer.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't have time to pull up bets since my internet was fucked up.
That's right. I was going to say
Derrick Henry touchdown. That's not a bad one.
Yeah, I would say TD. My 3 legs that I like are Levis over on his passing, Deontay Johnson for 50 yards, Hopkins for 40 yards, and then if you don't throw in a touchdown, Derrick Henry or Deontay Johnson, because he's gone like 100 catches or something like that without a touchdown. It's like the longest anyone's gone without a touchdown. So he could easily have one tonight.
Interesting.
I definitely did a fantasy hedge on Brady, and I took George Pickens for like 60 and a touchdown.
Nice.
Just in case, like make a little money off of my sorrows.
I think we'll call it a episode for this week, and I'll shut it down so I can go get some of those bets in before the game starts.
All right, later, boys. Good luck.
Peace.
Matt.